Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Eddie Hearn says Deontay Wilder should receive less money if they fight Joshua Wilder in April of next year. Stay tuned. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, Anthony Joshua promoter Eddie Hearn has an interview exclusively with SkySports. Link is in the description. The title, very interesting. Says Deontay Wilder should receive a lower fee for a fight with Anthony Joshua in April, says Eddie Hearn. Again, link in the description. Subheader says promoter Eddie Hearn says Deontay Wilder's fee, quote, should go down for a fight with Anthony Joshua as he prepares to send a signed contract to the American. Right? Eddie Hearn says he was never on a percentage. Wilder was on a flat fee, which he accepted. Hearn exclusively told Sky Sports. I think the fee should go down because Joshua is going to fight Povetkin, and if he wins, his value will increase significantly. And I don't believe that Wilder will be in a fight that will increase his value. The argument that he should get more money when Joshua's profile continues to rise doesn't make sense. But the good news for them is the offer is still on the table. We're going to send them this week a new contract with a new date, and Joshua is going to sign the contract. So it's even more black and white. A lot of people are saying Joshua won't sign the contract, wouldn't sign the contract. You don't want the fight, so this way it's here's everything you've agreed to, it's signed. When you look at the contract and it's all blank, and then you look at it and there's a Joshua signature on it, it's a lot more tempting to just get it done. So fingers crossed he'll sign it. Listen, another bogus attempt at damage control. New media, Ego's Army, y'all know what it is. This is furthermore proof for me who really wants this fight. So the flat rate, the flat fee in itself is, we now know, an attempt to either hoard the money and get the lion's share, but even more than that, because you'll be entitled to everything that this fight generates on the back end beyond the flat fee, right? So we know this is the new way of ducking fights. This is the new way to either hoard the money and make sure you guys get more of the pot and take the fight, and or make sure the fight doesn't happen, because a lot of people aren't comfortable not getting a slice of the pie, the percentage pie, when it comes to a mega fight that a lot of people think could do well. How well, we don't really know. So I told you, man, new media, Ego's Army. Eddie Hearn, I don't know if this was his intent. I don't know if he's seen it going like this, but he's making Joshua's profile, actually, it's hurting Joshua's profile to make statements like this. Like, again, you had an initial offer, 12.5 flat, which is highly publicized. Then they offered you $50 million. You turned that down because you don't ultimately want to fight in America, and you didn't want to agree to the monetary sticking points of the contract, so it never proceeded to an official contract. And even though you speculated that the money may not be there, but then later came out and say, we never asked if the money was there. We never asked for proof of funds, so they were never provided, right? Then you say, we talked to Joshua's team, and it was decided that the fight should take place in the UK, and he's the A side, so we feel that's right. Wilder says, okay, I accept your terms. Even though it's a flat rate, your improved offer is only 2.5 million more than your first offer. I'll travel to the UK. His team agreed, and there's some paperwork pushing. The contract on Eddie Hearn, he admitted this on tape, that he says on a Monday to Finkel, they agreed to terms. We'll have a contract to you by Friday. The contract, he wasn't finished. He says, I wasn't quite finished, end quote, with the contract. So I emailed Shelly Finkel, said, I have it due you by Monday. Shelly Finkel said, no problem, take your time. And he says, They sent the contract, and then Shelly Finkel still had 2 small notes or amendments or points that he needed. One was what was the date, because there's no date and venue listed, and they wanted to know if it was Joshua's next fight, things like that. So the next fight, he confirmed, yes, it was the next fight. Meanwhile, the WBA steps in, and the WBA says, you know what, we're putting a stop to this. Put a halt to this whole shit. You guys are taking too long. We're ordering you to sign for the Povetkin fight in 24 hours. And to this day, this was like probably 2 weeks ago, to this day, we still don't have a formal announcement for Joshua Povetkin. And this is the fight that Eddie Hearn is claiming is going to raise Joshua's stock exponentially to the point where Wilder deserves less money. Like, you don't even know who Wilder's going to fight next, right? You don't know who he's going to fight next, yet you says he deserves less money. I mean, it's very simple to see what's going on. I don't have to even do a whole bunch of long videos. They could be relatively short, because that's ludicrous. It's ridiculous to surmise that he deserves less money just because Joshua's fighting Povetkin. Povetkin already lost to Klitschko, right? And he was knocked down a couple of times in that fight. Joshua already beat Povetkin. The world wants to see Joshua Wilder, right? So you fighting Povetkin, you fighting Dillian White too, those are just an afterthought to the fight that we all want, which is Joshua Wilder. So Eddie Hearn's trying his best to make it appear, and in my opinion, bamboozle and put the blinders on the boxing fans to make people believe that Wilder should 9 months prematurely sign a contract without seeing Joshua Povetkin, without seeing how he does in his next fight, without seeing whose stock rises, falls, stays the same, whatever. He should just hurry up and rush and sign a contract. Listen, they agreed. Shelly Finkel already came out and responded. So Eddie Hearn to even do this exclusive with SkySports after Shelly Finkel's response to World Boxing News, which news travels, especially if it's involving your camp. Shelly Finkel already deaded this. He says basically the 2018 deals are done. 15 mil, we accepted that if that was Joshua's next fight. It's not. That deal's done. It's gone, right? We offered you 50 million. We couldn't get it. We couldn't lure you in with that. That offer is done. So for Eddie Hearn to even do this interview is really pointless. And then to suggest that the Povetkin fight, which the fans didn't want, right? Which the fans didn't want by and large. And you guys, if you disagree, if you rather see Povetkin Joshua over Wilder Joshua, please let me know in the comment section, and then just look at the replies in the thread to people responding to that. But ultimately, by and large, I don't think boxing wanted that. I mean, why? Listen, just answer this. Why would you want a mandatory, right? A guy who doesn't have a real belt versus the guy who's a knockout artist who's never lost, unlike Povetkin, who does have a loss to Klitschko. And you would rather see the Povetkin fight, so a non-champion with a loss, as opposed to an undefeated champion? Like, come on. So good luck with DAZN, you know, because to me it's off to a bad foot, because now it's teetering on like the ego tripping and stuff like that. You're teetering on like challenging the stupidity of Americans. It appears, you know what I mean, to say he deserves less money. That's just being spiteful at this point, right? And the other angle that I guess Eddie Hearn is trying to approach is, we're going to send him the same contract with the April 2019 dates already like filled out and Joshua's signature on it. Joshua's signature on it, it don't matter now because it's April and they already told you those deals were done. But in Eddie Hearn's world, in his brain, it sounds like he thinks by having Joshua's signature, that's going to put pressure on Wilder, which it doesn't. You know, oh, Wilder signed a contract. They agreed. It's very plain English, plain language to understand. They agreed to a lowball offer of $15 million to expedite it, right? And have the fight next, AKA this year. Since that is no longer the case, then guess what? It doesn't matter. they're not going. Listen, here's an, you know, I'm the king of analogies. I could always try to make it make sense. All right, let's say I ordered some luggage and travel supplies off of Amazon Prime, right? Normally 2-day free shipping is good, but let's say I'm leaving tomorrow, right? I'm leaving tomorrow night, and I have this luggage and travel supplies that I want to order off of Amazon Prime, right? I'm doing a red eye the next day. 2-day Amazon shipping will not work. Now, I would be willing to pay extra money for the expedited 1-day shipping. Let's say for all the boxes and the luggage and the toiletries and travel kits that I'm ordering, let's say the expedited shipping, to have it sent overnight or sent in 1-day expedited shipping, priority or whatever, right? Let's say it's $27, right? I'm willing to spend $27 to get my shit here by the time I leave for my red-eye flight, right? So I will pay $27 extra when I could get 2-day free shipping with Amazon Prime. You know why? Because this stuff could possibly be here in time for me to use it for my trip that I'm going to Budapest for a week, right? Now, if it is revealed that this items that I'm trying to order for overnight and I would have to pay an extra $27 will not be to my residence by the time I need it, and I have to make other accommodations because I have to leave on my trip, then guess what? Then I would rather just do the 2-day shipping and just have it sent, because either way I won't be able to be there for the package delivery. I won't be able to use it for this particular trip because I waited too long. You guys get that? So if the stuff is not going to be here, if it says I go to checkout and it says the stuff won't even be here until the next day anyway, and the quote unquote expedited shipping, right? The expedited shipping won't make it by the time I need it for my trip. So I'm going to go on a week-long trip to Budapest. Then I would just not pay the extra $27 because it's not going to be there by the time I need it to be here. Similarly with this Wilder situation, they agreed to fight you next, whether that was September, October, November, sometime this year, December, sometime this year. So there's no reason for Wilder side to pay the $27 when it's not expedited. They're not getting what they requested, what they thought they were getting. Same thing with the travel analogy. I'll pay the $27, whatever. Now, I don't want to pay an extra $27 when I can get free 2-day shipping. However, I was willing to pay it, but I'm not willing to pay that extra charge if it's not going to get to my place in time. Very similar situation. Very easy to understand. So what Eddie Hearn's doing is it's like making them look bad, to act like, oh, we're going to put Joshua's signature. That's not the deal. They were willing to take a lowball offer, something that Shelly Finkel has publicly said he didn't think that improved offer was even great, but they were willing to do it because they thought that's what it would take to lure you into this year. So Joshua could sign all he wants. That doesn't mean that Wilder's going to sign. But Eddie Hearn, see, Eddie Hearn wants to have his cake and eat it too. He knew that the pressure was rising and he was going to have to make the Joshua Wilder fight. But he even said he slipped up. And he says, I think we can get away with one more. That's precisely what he's done. He teamed up with World of Boxing, Povetkin's handlers, and now they're going to try to do like 90,000 at Wembley with them, and then try to collect this money with Wilder. But it doesn't work like that, you know? And in actuality, they've put Wilder into more of a position of power, because if I'm Wilder, I would say, F that, you know? You're not going to just use me and then do it on your own accord. And then when the pressure grows, then now you want to make the fight because you know you have to because the fans want. And now you're trying to, on top of that, you're trying to make it look like Wilder was ducking you. You know what I mean? You're trying to make it look like he was ducking you and avoiding you, and you're putting the pressure on him, which obviously there wasn't pressure because they're the A side. They could have made this fight next. They could have made their calls to the WBA and tried to hold him off and made some attempt, but they easily succumbed when the WBA says the 24-hour deadline. We know what it is, man. It's like now it's the old switcheroo. You know, now they're trying to make it look like they're the ones pressuring. Wow, oh, we're gonna put the signature. Fans aren't buying it. Not as long as new media is around. We're not buying it because you could have fought him next. You actually even said that the Wembley wouldn't be available in September. Now you're fighting at Wembley in September. So that obviously was not true, you know. And now we're going to put Joshua's signature on it. They said they accept it. They accept it for next. Just like my analogy with the expedited shipping. I'll pay $27 for the expedited shipping if it'll get to me when I need it. But if it's not, and I ultimately had to wait 2 days anyway for the shipping, then I would just do the free 2-day shipping if there's a chance that it's not going to get to me on time. Because why would I want to pay extra money? I mean, it's common sense. The offers, both offers, were shitty because he deserves a percentage. And now you're saying he deserves less money. Very bad look to me for Joshua's stock with Eddie Hearn doing these interviews. To me, I think they should just focus on the Povetkin fight and then try to let things cool down, emotions cool down, and then maybe try to renegotiate, see what you can come up with. But this is petty to say he deserves less money all of a sudden. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.